What's the source of it? What's the source of this?
Satan.
Satan.
Satan is, in my definition of anti-Semitism, I give Satan is 1 second of fame because I mention the demonic aspect or the satanic aspect of anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is the irrational and satanic hatred of the Jewish people and Israel, characterized by thoughts, words, and or deeds against them. And you see this over the centuries. And the question you could ask is, why is Satan so hell-bent, I should say, maybe not, hell-bent on going after the Jews? What does he have against the Jews? Well, if you look at the final chapter, what's going to happen, in the end times, which we're fast approaching, the last 7 years, known as the Great Tribulation, also known as the time of Jacob's trouble, where God is going to be disciplining Israel and chastising Israel. What's going to happen is that at the end of that tribulation, the Jewish people who are going to survive will call on Yeshua, going like, our fathers missed him at the first coming. He is the Messiah. We believe it. And they're going to say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Baruch haba b'shem Adonai. Mm-hmm. Yeshua said, you will not see me again until you say those words. So what a lot of Christians don't necessarily connect the dots, but they need to understand this. Jesus is not coming back when all the Gentiles are saved and in all the numbers. Jesus is coming back when Israel calls him to return. And when he returns, Satan goes unemployed. And he doesn't like where he's being sent for retirement. It's not really Club Med.
No.
So he wants to stop it or postpone it. And that's what he's been doing. So he's been behind anti-Semitism for millennia. And he keeps reinventing or repackaging, I should say, repackaging anti-Semitism. So it comes from Hollywood, from academia, from governments, from individuals, from churches, from within the church. I mean, there's a case to be made for replacement theology, which is the false theology claiming that the church has replaced Israel in the promises of God. There's a case to be made that this is actually anti-Semitic, because it's basically pushing the Jews aside. And if you push the Jews aside, they're no longer in God's plan, then eventually we can get rid of them.
Yeah, it's certainly, I mean, if you think about a Christian that they don't like replacement theology, they like the term fulfillment theology, but regardless, it's the same difference. It's the same difference. But, for them, we're not saying either that anybody that would be replacement theologians, that they're embracing the murder of Jewish people. Not necessarily.
No.
But it's interesting, though, that what people don't realize is that theology, the subtle nature of how it contributes to the full-blown or even the medium-blown ideas of anti-Semitism, for sure.
Well, I think they're facilitating the process.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you can take you take replacement theology, and I think that I called it that in one of my messages. Christian Palestinianism is replacement theology on steroids.
Yep.
It's like making Israel Palestine, making Jesus a Palestinian, not a Jew, and then changing everything. I think that, I don't know if you ever had him on your show, but the expert on Christian Palestinianism is Paul Wilkinson.
Oh.
You know who he is? No, he's a British guy. He's usually at the pre-trib. He's the expert on that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but so there's what was the original question?
Well, we're kind of just laying the foundation, because where I do want to go is in your new book, The Normalization of Anti-Semitism, when the oldest hatred becomes a new normal. Let's talk about that for a minute, because in the book, how do you define normalization?
Normalization is, let me read it so it's not complicated. Normalization is the process by which something previously considered abnormal or unacceptable becomes perceived as normal. No, so normalization in a vacuum is not necessarily bad. The normalization of diplomatic ties between Saudi Arabia and Israel
that's good.
Would be a good thing. Okay? But normalization of anti-Semitism, that's an oxymoron.